Hiya guys, it's Will here. Oh my god. I'm doing a video for a guy called Kermit, basically, who commented on one of my videos not too long ago and asked what I thought was a good definitive Spider-Man figure to own. Long story short, there's a few you could go with. The Mayfix one's okay, but for that price point, it doesn't really offer me much more than a Legend does, so that's why I don't have the Mayfix one. I pretty much dislike everything Figure Arts bring out, so you're not going to see anything like that here. Marvel Select, like Diamond Select, Spider-Man figures are really, really good. Obviously, you miss out on articulation, but they are really, really good, sturdy figures. So, Select might be the way to go. Moving that to a side, though, I have in front of you, I have 8 Spider-Man figures. Yeah, 8 Spider-Man figures, and these are my 8 definitive Spider-Man figures. So this is no Octavius, no Miles Morales, nothing like that. This is literally straight up Peter Parker. And you might be wondering why I have movie ones in front of you. Well, there's a very good reason. You might argue that more people have seen Spider-Man films than they have read Spider-Man comics, okay? If you're like me, you read a Spider-Man comic at least monthly, maybe more. This isn't the case for everybody. So, for what I'm saying is, if you was a kid in like 2002, say you were about 8 or 9 in 2002, 2003, when the Tobey Maguire films were coming out, this guy right here is going to be your definitive Spider-Man. Now, there are quite a few different versions of this Spider-Man figure. You can go check out my channel for just the original movie figures, but this one is by far my favourite. His proportions are the best. His articulation isn't the best, but I believe this is the best. What's the word? The best compromise for articulation and sculpt. So this one I really, really like. Things I really, really like about it. Obviously, this is the one I had from when I was a kid. He has a really weird, just stupidly weird neck articulation that I have never ever seen on a domestic figure before in my life. This is the one that came with like the building piece that he shot up, by the way. I am botching this video today, guys. But yeah, there you go. So you got Tobey Maguire, and hey, I'm not going to knock anybody who they look at this guy and they're like, this is my Spider-Man, because I grew up in that era. My favourite Spider-Man movie is probably Spider-Man 2. And that's counting all of the Spider-Man movies. It probably is Spider-Man 2. So yeah, this guy, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's basically like, so we'll move on, like Tom Holland at the minute, and Endgame, and Far From Home, and just all of that stuff. It's very hard to disagree with someone who's like, no, this is my definitive Spider-Man, because, like the Avengers films, the MCU have made this definitively Spider-Man. So, yeah, there you go. Really good figure, by the way. Definitely worth picking up if you haven't already. I know it looks fairly basic, but once you get it in your hand, you'll change your mind. Right, this one. This one isn't a definitive movie figure, just because of how poorly the Amazing Spider-Man film did. Basically, I feel like this guy is, or Andrew Garfield is everybody's least favourite Spider-Man. This costume, though, oh my god, it is my favourite cinematic Spider-Man costume so far. They just nailed it. It is Spider-Man. And the reason we're talking about this guy right now is not because, once again, he's another Spider-Man movie figure, and, you know, the movies, all that stuff I said earlier. It's basically because, okay, you can fudge this. You can really, really fudge this guy. If you really wanted him to, he could be your, your. I'll show you an example. This guy could basically be your Spider-Man, if you wanted him to. He could be your comic book Spidey. You could have him just as I had him then, because it looks good. Or you can put, like, a different head sculpt on him, and straight away, there you go. Okay, you have a Spider-Man comic book figure, that the like of which you probably couldn't get anywhere else, is what I'm saying. I realise, though, that's counterproductive, okay, because I'm telling you to buy 2 Spider-Man figures to make 1 Definitive Spider-Man figure. No, basically, if you want this guy to be your comic book Spider-Man, you can absolutely do that if you want. You could definitely get away with that. You would have to fudge it, obviously, because of the way the actual spider is on his costume. It's not accurate, but like I said, you can fudge it. You could fudge it really easy. Right, let's move on. Oh god, I'm going to try and not go on a tangent because this video went well into like 20 minutes last time. We'll start with this guy. I will always love this figure. This is the first appearance Spider-Man. He's got, as you can see, a really nice classic Spidey head sculpt. Oh, look at that autofocus coming just as I was talking about it. That was brilliant. But he's got that old Spider logo, and he's got the red and the black, but this is still pretty iconic. It is Spider-Man as he first appeared. This artwork is based on Steve Ditko. Like I said about his spider logos, you know, they're both that classic sort of spider logo. Arguably, this is the definitive Spider-Man figure. He lacks a little in, oh gosh, he lacks a little in articulation compared to the other legends. But what he lacks in articulation, he definitely makes up for with charm. But just a superb figure. You know, the Far From Home costume was based on this Steve Ditko costume, so I will always have a soft spot for this one. This will always be a Spider-Man figure that I will always keep as a perfect representation of Spider-Man, and you would not go wrong, Kermit, buying that figure for yourself. We'll move on. So very quickly, because I've spoke about this figure lots and lots and lots. It is the Retro Wave Pizza Spidey. I prefer the colours on this one to the the original release of Pizza Spidey. He was a bit darker. He looked like this one more. Yeah, I like this red and blue. Just a superb figure. It's a shame they couldn't repack all his accessories with this version, but I'm not that upset because at least I managed to get hold of this Spider-Man figure, and arguably, anyone who comes into your room and looks at your figures is going to see this guy and be like, that's Spider-Man, if I've never seen Spider-Man before. But yeah, I know you said, Kermit, you originally had Pizza Spidey. I don't know whether you picked up this retro version, but that could be an option. I do really rate this as a Spider-Man figure. He's pretty decent. We'll set him back there. I could just go on and on all day about Spider-Man figures, guys, but I'm not going to. I'm trying to do this video quick, just as a response, because when people ask me to do things on YouTube, I honestly give it my best go. If you guys are going to take the time to watch my videos, I'm going to take the time to talk about the things you want me to talk about. This is not a kids channel though, I will just quickly say that. So here, right, and I don't know how many releases of this Spider-Man there's been, but I've always been really impressed with this Spider-Man figure. Just showing you quickly, look at the sculpt on him. He is just absolutely phenomenal. His articulation is phenomenal. He just looks so cool. I said to someone, like, isn't it weird how, you know, the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends kind of look like NECA and Hasbro had a baby and then sent a toy company back in the past to give us these awesome figures. Now, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, to be fair. But, yeah, there you go. I'm really impressed with this Spider-Man figure. Typically, I take a lot of pictures of this guy because he really just looks that good. Especially when you photographing him as well. I have him now just under these lights, and he looks pretty awesome. Wow, whole lot to say about that figure. I can't rant though, because the last time I filmed this video, I don't know if I've said it already, but it went way into like the 30-minute mark, and we don't need that, just talking about 8 Spider-Man figures. Now this one, you might remember this one if you've watched my channel a long time. I did the 5-minute spotlight with this guy. Phenomenal Spider-Man figure. One of my first Spider-Man figures that I ever had. It was the only Spider-Man figure I needed back then, so it's a pretty important one to have now. I realise some of these figures might not be easy to get a hold of, but like I said, these are just my definitive ones, just to sort of give you an idea. I really like this guy, really like the colours. He's really vibrant. He really like has a presence. The only thing about this one that throws me off, well, there's a couple things first. The first thing I want to say is he looks kind of like, have I said this before on a YouTube channel? He kind of looks like the Nightmare Before Christmas dude. You ever seen that movie, the skeleton dude from it? I think he's called Jack. Imagine he just like knocked someone out and stole a Spider-Man costume. This is what it reminds me of. But at the same time, this always reminded me of the animated series Spider-Man as well, and it was my animated series Spider-Man figure. You can see what I mean looking at the like the spiders on his uniform. But yep, there you go. Also, quick one, this is really important. If anyone knows what Spider-Man artwork this is based on, oh my god, me and my friends have been arguing forever. We just don't know. I think it's Bagley. My friends tell me I'm insane. I really don't. I don't know what to tell you. But if someone out there knows, like when the Mayfix one come out, I saw this and I was like, yeah, maybe this one could be Bagley artwork. That sort of makes sense. But I don't know. So if you know, because if you don't know, now you don't know. If you know, please tell me. Last one. Okay, guys, this is the biggie. Right, again, if you know what you're looking at here, if you're around the same age as me, or older than me, if you're into this line of action figures, Spider-Man classics, I don't know how many people are going to agree with me here, I don't know how mental I'm going to sound. Oh, fuck it. This is the best Spider-Man figure out there. To date, fight me. I don't care. It just is. Look at it. Look at its eyes. Are we going to focus? I'm going to get it to focus. Please focus. Right. Screw messing about doing that. You can see. Look at its eyes. And the webbing and like just the anatomy. Like, he's got Peter Parker's anatomy. He just... I'm trying not to fall over my words. I've owned this figure 3 times. First one, my sister threw it down the stairs. He broke his arm. That made me cry. And then I got it again. I can't remember how I got it. I think a friend at school gave me it. And then I don't know what happened to that one. It went missing around the same time as Spider-Man Classics Daredevil went missing. I do suspect I have a friend who stole from me, but I don't like to think that. Nobody likes to think that. Just quickly, I want to get him in a awesome pose for you. I'm just realising now how dirty my hands are as well, because I've been doing art and crafts with my little girl. Oh, one thing I really do want to say is I don't know how well you can see that on his hand. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Because, I mean, this is quite important. I wanted to talk about it last time, and then I didn't. And it kind of annoyed me that I didn't. There you go. So you see that tiny little metal thing around here? That is the only time, in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, to my knowledge, that they've ever like sculpted his web shooters into his costume. If you know any other Spider-Man figure that's done that, you let me know. But I think this is the only one. But yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh. Well excited then, and we weren't even there. Are we there? Are we there? You're gonna... Go on. Oh. Obviously, the articulation, it wasn't 100% there yet with these figures. But I'm still willing to say it's the best Spider-Man figure. Just look at it. There you go, guys. There is my Definitive Spider-Man. I mean, you could pick any one of these figures, but at the end of the day, for me, it is the figure that started it all. It's the Spider-Man Classics, like, Series 1. Phenomenal. They just hit out of the park. They got the right head sculpt, and everything. Hard to argue with, I think. I mean, a lot of people are gonna in the comments, but that's just my opinion. Okay, guys, that'll do it for today anyway. I'm going to end it there. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Stick around, because I've got some more videos coming up soon. I'll tell you about them more later, though. I'm going to go and eat now. Goodbye.